Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you so much for joining me. This is Heather Lloyd Martin, and I'm President and CEO of SuccessWorks SEO Copywriting. Today, we are going to talk about a foundational copywriting step that a lot of people decide to blow off. And that actually is a huge advantage to you because if they're not taking this step, that means that when you are writing your content, you can do it, and that will blow their copy right out of the water. So, this is what you need to do before you start writing, especially if you're working with a new client or if you are revising a lot of web pages internally. So, what you want to do, of course, is make your content stand out. And what a lot of folks do is when they are tasked to write something, they just start writing. And they write their blog post or their sales page, whatever it is. And that's okay. But there's a way to take that writing from okay into really, really good, which is highly customizing it for your reader. And if you think about it, this makes perfect sense because imagine you were writing web content and you were going to target it to the guy who is at the top of the slide. You would probably say things in a slightly different way and present the information in a slightly different way than if you were writing to the guy on the bottom of the slide. So what you're doing is you're matching your content to the folks that are coming into your site and reading it. And when you do this, then you're going to see higher conversion rates. You're going to see people staying on your site longer. You're going to see people sharing more of your content because your content is written just for them. I talk about this a lot when I've mentioned customer personas. And ideally, when you're writing something, you should have a picture of the person who is going to be reading your content in your head. My joke is that you should be able to walk into any Starbucks anywhere and look around and say, you are my target audience because you're so familiar with that person and writing for that person that you would be able to pick them out of the crowd. So the secret to this is asking a lot of questions and really digging in to figure out what your readers want to read and what they need to see. And this applies if you're working with a client, if you're writing in-house and you're working for a company, or you're creating content for your own business. And again, it's really easy to blow off this step and figure, oh, well, I've been in business for 10 years. Of course I know this. But I would encourage you to go back and go through this exercise anyway. And you might even want to consider doing it every 6 months to a year just to make sure that everything's on track and your target audience hasn't changed. So here's some questions to ask, and you might want to modify this for your own business. First is who is visiting the site? Do you have just one group of people visiting the site, or do you have multiple customer personas coming through? People maybe from different industries and that you can sort of group them by industry. Or if you're a B2B company, do you need to write content that is highly technical for the technical folks visiting your site, but also content that is more soft selling for folks that might be an admin or someone who's not as technical if they're looking at the site and they need to make a decision whether to contact you or to send your information to their supervisor. Another question is what kind of content appeals to your target audience? A lot of what we talk about is text, but video is another great way to connect with people, and it might be something to try to see if you're actually seeing greater conversion rates off of creating a video. You might want to think about what your readers want to know about. You can do key phrase research, monitor what's going on in Twitter. There's a lot of ways to get your finger on the pulse of your audience to make sure that content matches their needs. If you're writing sales pages, you really want to focus on what benefits are important to your readers. And we've talked about benefit statements before in prior videos, as well as what objections your readers might have to work with you. So if you are selling a product or selling a service and you know that people coming in are wondering, all right, is this company going to fit my needs because I need X, Y, and Z? Then you make sure that those objections are overcome in the copy so that way the customer feels comfortable talking to you because they know, all right, I've read this content and now I'm going to contact the company for more information. And the final thing is to think about the type of voice that appeals to your readers. And this one can be really fun to play with. A lot of companies, especially business to business companies, have a very formal tone and feel for their website. It is very corporate sounding. But when you talk to these folks on the phone, they don't sound like that at all. And they talk about how consultative their services are and how much they enjoy working with their customers and dealing with them one on one. So if you're writing sales pages, you might want to consider if the content on your website sounds like people talk in your company. And if there's a disconnect there, then think about ways you might be able to create content that is a little bit more friendly and less corporate and see how that resonates with your readers. Again, this is a very important step, and I guarantee that if you've just been writing copy to write it before and you haven't gone through this exercise, that although it might take a little bit more time at the beginning, it's something that's going to make your content much better in the end, and your readers will definitely thank you for it. So thank you very much for viewing this presentation and listening to it. If you would like more SEO copywriting goodness, there's two ways that you can get that. You can sign up for the daily newsletter, and that is at dailyseocopy@aweber.com. Just shoot an email over, and they'll get you signed up. You can also visit SEOcopywriting.com to learn more about the services and training, and also sign up for the weekly newsletter. And of course, if you'd like to contact me directly, I would love to hear from you. You can reach me at heather@seocopywriting.com, or you can also reach me on Twitter at @heatherlloyd. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.